destined for greatness. My name is written in stars, and I will give everything, all that I have to the cause. Fight against evil, run through the pain, battle it all, this is more than a game. I am a lion and I can't be tamed, it's how it was made, this ice in my veins, run through it all. No matter the odds, I will answer the call. The enemy knocks on the door. Even the greatest among us will fall, but the greatest will get back up. So I won't back down, and I won't give up, and I will act now, and I will stand up. They know that I'm here for it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up, no matter what's in my way. Rise up, I will do what it takes. I will keep on fighting. I'll rise through it all. Rise up. Rise up. Yeah. Walking through the shadows, I see the hangman as he stands at the gallows. The breath of the beast, the gnashing of teeth. But I won't retreat, I won't deplete. I will succeed, I got all that I need. I am prepared for this moment. I see my future and my destiny is calling. The battle is on, I will rise like the sun. I'll get it done one day. I'll look back.
Let's go, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Two Odd Men Coming Together. I don't know, I just made that up on the fly, but welcome to the Niners Sickness Podcast and the Fanatic Niners Podcast. It's me, your host, Beto Luna, with my co-host, Pete Lucas in the house. We're going to talk 49er football. We're going to talk Cardinals. We're going to dive a little bit into the Cowboys game. We got so much that we're going to share with you. We appreciate each and every one of you jumping on the chat. Right after this, we'll bring on some good Niners content. Let's go. Everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. This is your boy Beto. We got Pete. What's up, Pete? Another week, another victory. We are 4-0. How are you feeling?
It's just another day and another lovely day in 49erville. And I mean, another, like you said, another week, another victory. I mean, teams are 49ers are just are making it easy to be a 49er fan. It's becoming easy to talk our stuff, and there's no better time to talk junk than Cowboys week.
Oh yeah, never a dull moment when we face the Cowboys. First, we had to take care of business, which we did on Sunday. We took care of a conference foe. We had to be one of the guys in our division. Whenever we play your division, you always play hard. Teams, no matter what the record is, division, a game is always important to win. And there's always a fight, unless you're not as good as people think you are. And I think the Cardinals are not as good as people think they are. We put we opened up a can of whoop ass on the Cardinals, and we sent them and plucked them and got rid of them 35-16. Is there anything you liked about that game, Pete? Name me 3 things you liked and 3 things you didn't.
I tried to tell you on our last show that it was going to be a blowout. I tried to tell you it because it was just, we're not the Cowboys as far as offense goes. I think our offense is much more powerful than the Cowboys. I think that their defense is much I think that the Cowboys are a better defensive team than they actually showed in that game. But I think when they lost their corner, what is Trayvon Diggs?
Yes.
Like, I think that was a blow to them. And they had to make some adjustments, and that was the first week without him. So it was what it was. But three things about this game. I mean, the that I loved was seeing that we're no longer leaning on the defense. The offense has become has honestly, in my opinion, the offense has become the star of this team right now. Before we were depending on the defense to just keep it close so that eventually we would get over the offense would get over the hump and pull out in front. Except for, well, Brock was scoring his 30 last year. Like, it was what it was, but still it always felt like the defense was keeping us in game, was keeping us doing most of the work for us. But this year it's quite the opposite. This offense is on fire. It's on fire. Brock only missed one throw, and it was a throwaway.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is a bona fide MVP candidate.
Yes, sir.
Ayuk is proving himself, in my opinion, to be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. I mean, it's just too many weapons. I mean, think about this. They dropped 35, and Kittle touched the ball once. Debo didn't have a catch. He only had 3 carries. And I mean, it's a wealth. It's just an embarrassment of riches. That's all it is. So my first thing that I loved about this game was that the offense kind of took over. Second thing that I loved about this game was just CMC in general. Like, I mean, he was just unstoppable. Like, it looked like they would have him dead to rights, and he jumps over a guy. Like, and he was just unstoppable. And I'm gonna put the running game in there all the way. I love that Jordan Mason got 3 carries. But my last thing that I loved was Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was, I think that he's still not getting the credit that he deserves, but I think that he showcased himself in this game. And I don't care who you're going up against. That was another NFL team on the other side of the football. The fact that you could go 20 for 21 and you're not dinking and dunking. He threw a couple, he was going deep a couple of times. He threw a beautiful back shoulder. It wasn't just, he was just managing the game. He was running the offense.
Yep.
And to go 20 for 21, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game to watch on offense.
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Definitely. Well, no, good points, bro. And it was a beautiful display of offense. And you're right. In the years past, the Niners, for the most part, would have to rely heavily on the defense. The defense would have to play par football. It couldn't make mistakes. It couldn't afford to have a letdown. Otherwise, this team would struggle because the offense could not keep up with the defense. But this year, and it kind of started a little bit in 21, we saw a little bit of it, and it's just gotten much better with the years. But this year, the offense is competing, and if I'm not mistaken, it's a little bit above our defense right now, playing better than our defense right now. And neither the defense nor the offense has hit their stride yet. They're still trying to find their stride. And the Niners are putting up 30-plus points. This is the 4th game they have put 30 points. They are scoring at will. They're moving the ball. And the defense is doing enough to prevent the other team to going above 30. So as long as you have that, it's always a recipe for success. The whole Christian McCaffrey MVP, it should be being shouted by every 49er fan. Everyone that loves football, whether you're a Niner fan or not, if you just love football and you cannot appreciate what Christian McCaffrey is doing, even if he's not on your team, then you don't like football. Because there are players on other teams that I don't like, but I can appreciate their work and the hard work they put in. And Christian McCaffrey is kicking butt out here I believe Brandon Ayuk had his career best game in his career against the Arizona Cardinals, 148 yards. This kid was everywhere. And for those that I keep hearing, for the love of God, that Brock Purdy can't throw the deep ball, shut your up. Shut up. He threw a 47 in the basket right at the fingertips of Ayuk between two defenders. And then he did it again later on in the game. So you know what? Stop. If you just hate Brock Purdy, hate him. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But stop making excuses of what he can do. The guy's 9-0 in regular games. This guy does nothing but win. He does nothing but move the ball. He reads offense. He's a quick learner. I mean, this guy is the real deal. And most importantly, Kyle Shanahan, 110% trusts this young man. He trusts him to the fullest. That's a scary thing, Pete, when your coach trusts the quarterback and is willing to open up the playbook and call formation that he normally wouldn't call. It's a scary thing, and this team is only getting better. And we're going to break down the Cowboys a little bit towards the end of the show. But right now, what they were able to do against Arizona was beautiful.
There's no other word for it. And, like, this is the thing. Like you said, you can hate on Brock Purdy if you want to, but that's exactly what you're doing at this point. And it's obvious that that's what you're doing at this point. Like, because the way he's running this offense and with the flair, the one handoff, the no-look handoff, that was a thing of beauty. And then him just like you talked about the trust that Shanahan has in Brock and how it's opening up that's what's opening up the playbook. Shanny, how often have you seen Shanny go for it on fourth down? Now he's done it multiple times in 4 games because he has nothing but confidence that Brock is going to make it happen. On that, I'm still thinking about that I think it was 3rd and 4th that back shoulder to Ayuk. That was just pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that you do when you're a game manager.
Yeah.
That's not a throw that you make when you're a game manager. When you're throwing in between 2 defenders to a spot and you're hoping that Brandon Ayuk just runs under it, that's not something you do as a game manager. That's not even something you attempt. Like this is not, and I hate to even bring up his name, but this is not Jimmy Garoppolo.
No,
like it is not. Those days are over. It's actually fun to watch the 49er offense now. It's just fun to watch. Brock has this swag about how he plays the game, and it is just there's just so many moments like that. There's going to be highlights for days off of this season. I can just feel it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm with you. The Niners have not hit their stride yet. They're still figuring themselves out. Watch out when they do. But this offense is incredible what they can do. We have so many weapons at all facets. I know the defense, pass rush, in the sacks did not really happen against Arizona. We had 1 sack that belonged to Hargrave. It's 3rd sack of the year already. But the pressure that they were putting on Dobbs was phenomenal. The way they protected the run, the way they controlled Connor. Connor had a field day against the Dallas Cowboys, and we were able to keep him to like 53 yards or something. So the Niners is stopping the run, and that just opens it up for the pass rush to go after the quarterback. Linebackers are playing. Fred Warner and Greenlaw are playing lights out. Our secondary is a little suspect, particularly Lenore and Thomas Emery. I mean, it's kind of like Mr. Hit or miss with them. That needs to get a little bit better. But to me, it's always been a great pass rush, complements the secondary. But talking a little bit about the Cowboys, a lot of people are like, man, the Cowboys, they tore up the Giants. They beat up the Jets. They beat up the Patriots, and they lost to the Cardinals, right? But if you noticed that on the Cowboys, their defense is dominant. Their defense is fast. Kudos to their defense. But their offense is probably about average. It is not above average. They can't score in the red zone. They settle for field goals. Okay? They can't punch it in. And whenever the Cowboys have a lead or the defense scores defensively, the pressure is off of Dak. Dak can just sit there and dink and dunk. He don't have to worry, put the pressure on his arm. In the Cardinals ran the ball and forced the Cowboys to throw. And they had to put it on Dak Prescott's hands. And that's the only game that he had an interception in. When you fall behind, that put the pressure on the Cowboys. This is what's going to take place with the Niners. The Niners' offense is superior than the Cowboys. And I've been arguing with Cowboy fans. Brandon Ayuk, and this is not me saying this because I'm a Niner fan, is better than CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
better.
I think so too.
And this is not me hating on the Cowboys. This is me not talking crap. This is just knowing football. Looking at the X's and O's. Look at the route running. Look how he gets open. Brandon Ayuk is a certified number one receiver, period, on this team. Debo's number two. Or not, well, if he's behind him, but they're both number ones on this team. Somebody mentioned this, and I like this. They like to always reference similarities between Debo and Ayuk, right? But somebody said, I forgot who it is, and if I didn't mention your name, I'm not trying to take away your coat, and I just forgot your name. Said Brandon Ayuk it's a sports car, and Debo is a diesel truck type of receiver. You can't compare them. One's a sports car fast, and the other one's a mauler, just breaks through things. And I love that quote. I love the way he said that. That's truly true. The Debo is that truck, big ass semi, and Brandon is that sports car, and we have them both on our team. And the Cowboys, they have a Gallup, which is all right, number 2 or number 3 receiver. Their run game, Pollard has not been playing like he was last year. Maybe because of the injury, he hasn't really fully recovered. I don't know. Now their defense, Pete, is ferocious. Their defense is fast. But how do you attack? I'll give you my opinion, but I want to ask you, how should the Niners attack a fast defense in your opinion?
Well, the reason I think that they're going to attack them the same way that they're attacking everybody, what makes I love the analogy of Debo being the Mack truck. This is the thing. You've got CMC and Debo basically at the line of scrimmage. They're going to run a lot of screens and stuff that behind the line of scrimmage, close to the line of scrimmage. And then you've got so you've got to put a majority of your defense has got to be keyed in on the line of scrimmage. And then that leaves Brandon Ayuk open, usually in one-on-one against somebody, and he's just going to roast him. So you're going to have to pick your poison. And then you've got George Kittle, and then Ray gets a couple of catches. But, I mean, this offense, there's no way that you can cover everybody. There's just no way. And it's going to be up to Brock to play that point guard position as he has so well for us, and just get the ball to the open man. That's it. Somebody's going to be open.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the way that Shanny schemes it up, because Shanny is, I think this year, the main difference that I've seen this year as to last year is he has really developed the drop back game. In past years, our drop back game was really not fleshed out because we didn't have the quarterback that could take advantage of it. But Brock is making great reads at the line of scrimmage, and he's getting the ball to the right guy. And that's all we need him to do in this game, is just get the ball to the right guy. And Shanny's going to do the rest because he's going to scheme it up. Somebody's going to be wide open. It's just you just got to pick the right guy.
Absolutely. And you said it, bro. And I love that you used basketball as a reference since basketball will be starting this week. We get the NBA going. Shout out to my Lakers. Go Lakers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun season for sure. But you're right about Brock Purdy being the guy that can pass the ball around. He can get the ball to his playmakers. He does the layup. Well, he's not the dunk guy per se. And I reference to that to the big body, the big arm. But if you saw what he did against Arizona, shows you that if it's called for, he can do it. If he wants to keep a defense honest, he can do it and keep that defense honest. This guy makes great reads, understands the defense that he's playing against, makes his adjustments. He's a quick thinker. He's always thinking. He's always scanning the field. He's finding the player that is open, and he's hitting him in stride. I don't know how many people have that one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying the anticipation that this kid.
That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't get out of my head.
He's starting to throw before the guy even starts to make his break.
Yeah.
And that is a special skill.
That's what Tom Brady does.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Exactly what Tom Brady does. He anticipates his players. He gets the ball. You can see it, Pete, right? Even before the receiver makes his cut, the ball's already in the air. It's already in there because the trust between him and his receivers. He said it against, he struggled with the long ball against the Giants. They asked Brock Purdy. He said, listen, I wanted to make sure that I did not underthrow them, so I threw it harder and went over them. We had to work that out. We did it in practice, and we got it ourselves in sync with one another, and it showed against Arizona. This kid always reads the tape. He's always looking at the tape. He's the opposite of Kyle Murray. You don't have to make sure he signs a contract that says you got to look at film. This kid looks at film, breaks down film. He loves football. He's passionate about football. And sometimes you can find the greatest player when you're not looking. And the Niners found a gem in this kid.
And his teammates love him.
And his teammates love him. So, the prototype quarterback, 6'4", 230 pounds, big arm, that's all nice and dandy. But what this kid can do with this offense, the way it's set up, with Kyle Shanahan calling the plays that he does, having the playmakers around him, it's a recipe for success. As long as we stay healthy, Pete. As long as we stay healthy. You tell me which team can beat us. We're physical. We can move the ball.
Yeah, I thought you were asking me.
No, I was.
Oh, yeah. No, hey. The 49ers, I've been saying it all season. The 49ers have the best record or the best roster in the league.
Yes.
It's hands down. It's not even close. Every team has a weakness somewhere and is the only spot where I think the 49ers have and I don't even know if you could call it a weakness. That's just their weakest spot, I guess, is that cornerback spot opposite Shavarius Ward. But other than that, I mean, they're stacked at every position and the offensive line, I guess right tackle maybe. but I mean, that we're sitting here having to figure out who is not up to par on this team as opposed to teams that their offensive lines are just bad. Their secondary is just bad. Their defensive lines are just bad. Like the 49ers don't have a bad position group. Not one on this squad. It's not even close to me. Like I think the 49ers, if they execute, there's not a team in this league that can beat them when they're executing. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Give me 1 second.
Beto.
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on. I'm here. Oops.
Oh, now I'm gone.
No, I hit the wrong button. I'm here. I'm just trying to adjust something real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah.
My apologies. Let's see here. There we go. All right. All right, just trying to adjust something here real quick. Get the camera going. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited what the Niners are doing offensively, defensively, special teams. I love how they brought up the guy from the practice squad. Forgot his name. But anyway, he came on and played very good at special teams for us. He was the guy that kept the ball from going into the end zone and put it at the. Now that unfortunately, that drive was the 99 drive that they went and scored on us on that particular play. But and the Niners kind of, that was a head scratcher. That was a lot of yards we gave up right there. But at the end of the day, the Niners defense only gave up 16 points, and we put up 35 on this team. I think that the Cowboys are playing great football defensively. What are in your opinion, Pete, what are two things the Niners got to do to ensure they get the W against the Cowboys on Sunday?
Before I answer this,
sure,
I got to say something about that drive.
Okay.
And I know that there's a lot of stat people out there, and that are going to say that D'Amico ran or Steve Wilkes is not running any more off coverage than D'Amico did, and they're talking about percentages of. They've got all these stats to say that he's not doing it any different, and it's just not working out the same, or whatever the case is. I just want to tell all the bean counters that, look, statistics have their place.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me that I'm watching the game and we're not playing soft zone, and the soft zone is the reason why our defensive line isn't getting to the quarterback, and teams, this is the third team in a row that's tried to do this now. We've been playing off coverage, like 7 yards off coverage on a regular basis, and they're just killing us underneath all the way down the field. And we're saying, oh, well, that's not the reason. The off coverage isn't the reason why that happened. And stop, just stop. They only scored 16 points, but this is the thing, that there's going to be better teams that we go up against with better quarterbacks that are going to be able to take advantage of that on a regular basis. And I know the season is early, but I almost feel like my opinion on it is that I almost feel like we should be more aggressive now to find out what we can do against these worse teams. To find out what our secondary is actually capable of, and can we be more aggressive? Can we press and give our defensive linemen more time to get to the quarterback? That's my personal opinion on it. I think that a lot of people get caught up in all the numbers and defending Steve Wilkes. Look, it's not a thing about Steve Wilkes hasn't given away the farm. No, there hasn't been obvious things where we just look bad, but it doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
it doesn't look the defense does not look the same as last year. We're not as physical. And that's just facts. That's just facts. If you try to say that we're as physical as we were last year, I mean, I don't know what you're watching at this point. And that's just my opinion on it. But to answer, what was the question again? Now that I get off my soapbox.
You you went on a rant, bro, that I even forgot what that question was.
It was about the Cowboys and what they can do.
Oh, yeah. Name two things that the Niners need to do to ensure to get the victory on Sunday night.
Okay. First of all, they need to be more physical on defense, in my opinion. I think that they need to match and it sounds weird to say, but I think that our defense needs to match the physicality of the Cowboys defense. and the offense just needs to do what the offense is been doing, which is just get the ball to the open guy. I love the screens. I think that they need to take advantage of this. I think that the secondary of the Cowboys can be had. They just need time to be able to throw. Brock needs time to be able to throw the ball, and I think in order to do that, they're gonna have to be able to run those bubble screens that they've been running, and anything to take a little bit of pressure off of and just slow up the pass rush enough to give him time to get some of those naked bootlegs that Shanny likes to run, and because the offensive line the last couple of games I would say have done well, not the game before that because they just blitzed the hell out of Brock, but this past game I thought the offensive line did an outstanding job of giving Brock time to throw the ball. And granted, they left Kittle in a lot to help block, which they're probably going to do again this week. But whatever you got to do to give Brock time, Brock has shown that he's going to find the open guy. I think that but that's the key, because I think the Cowboys are going to try and take away Christian McCaffrey in this game, and it's going to be up to the Ayuks and the wide receivers and the Debos to make plays in the secondary and do what they have done in the past to the Cowboys, which is just run them over, run their secondary over. So that's what I feel like has to happen, and hopefully that's the way I see it. I'm hoping that our defense gets a little bit more physical in this one, because I think that that's the key to getting into Dak's head and keeping him seeing ghosts and just throwing to nobody.
Yeah, you got to put pressure. I was looking at PFF. When Dak is under pressure, he's not very accurate. And on the contrary, Brock, not that I want pressure on him. We do need to protect him. We need to give him time. But under pressure, believe it or not, Brock is at his best. He is at his best under pressure. Mm-hmm. It's like he thrives when the defenders are in his face. Now, I don't want him there. I want him to be protected. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of still questioning the offensive line of the Niners, and in particularly McKivitz. But I think overall, McKivitz has been playing well. Could do better. Mm-hmm. He did give up one sack and one. What do you call it? What is it called?
Yeah, it was a free rusher. The guy just went inside. He went too wide, and the guy went inside on him.
Yeah. It was a sack that he gave up, and there's another word that I use it all the time. This is what I don't like sacks. I like, and I can't think of it. It's kind of like a hurry, but it's not that. I can't think of the word. I just slipped my mind. But the pressures. Yeah. He only gave up one pressure and one sack. Now, we're playing a completely different beast. We're playing number 11 for the Cowboys. He's going to line up against McKivitz. This would be a good idea to kind of keep in Kittle or Juice to kind of hone in and help out McKivitz. Trent Williams will be fine on that side if he lines up, but he's going to line up opposite of Trent Williams on top of McKivitz. But I expect McKivitz to have a good game. He already faced TJ Watt, which really for the first game, talk about getting baptized in the first game by TJ Watt, and he was baptized all right. I think he'll be able to watch a little bit of that film, and he'll have a better handle on number 11. But they got to help him out. Because you're right. If you give Brock Purdy enough time, he will get the ball where it needs to go. You just can't allow a defender to freely hit him. And McKivitz has done that. It's just like he looks to the left, and the next he just sees the pass rusher going right by him, and that can't happen. They got to protect Brock. And like you said, we got to put pressure on Dak. And you're right. Our defense is completely different from last year. It's not that swarming defense that is just breaking down the front line of opposing teams. I think that Steve Wilkes is bringing his own wrinkles. He's trying to figure out what works best for this defense. He's trying to figure out the players and work at their strengths. And I think he will get that. Now we're winning games. We're not giving up a lot of points, which is a plus. And I believe that Steve Wilkes will get it good enough that towards the end of the season, going into the playoffs, he'll have a better handle on that defense, and you're going to see that defense thrive even more going later on. But I understand your feelings. You're not getting the same feeling of
we
that
hope.
attack. You know,
Yeah,
you
we
want to
hope.
see it. You want to be ferocious, right? Because right now our defense is number 7.
Yeah.
It was number 1 or 2 at the very least last year.
And I think that a lot of I think that is the fact that our defense is number 7. I think that's more because our offense has been killing teams with time of possession.
Yep.
We've been killing that. We've been just holding the ball the entire game in a couple of these games. So the defense just hasn't had to be on the field.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good thing though. That's a good thing that we can control the possession. We're giving our defense rest. They are rested. We'll be fine, bro. I'm not. Could the defense?
I'm not
be
worried about it
better?
right now.
Yes.
I'm not worried about it right now. I'm just. It's just.
You
it's
just
annoying.
want to see more urgency on the pass rush, or a little bit more.
It's. I think that we have thoroughbreds on this defensive line, and I think that they're a step away from making sacks, but we're playing so much off coverage that it's just giving the other teams the ability to play quick game all day. And I just would like to see our corners be more aggressive. And I don't know if that's by design. I can't tell if that's by design but it wasn't. And I know that they played off coverage last year with D'Amico. They played a lot of zone, but it seemed like the corners were just more aggressive. And I don't know that that Wilkes is asking them to be aggressive. It's just weird. It just looks weird, and it just doesn't look the same. And the thing is Steve Wilkes was supposed to be the guy that made our secondary better, not be less aggressive. So
yeah,
I don't know.
and he hasn't blitzed as much as I thought he would blitz, and I think that's just where he's trying to figure himself out. Like Steve Wilkes is known to blitz, but I think he feels comfortable with the front 4. He'll figure it out. But the secondary is a concern of mine, as we mentioned before we went live, Pete. I love Lenore. Lenore is getting better, but he still has the weaknesses. Emery Thomas gets burned way too easy. Isaiah Oliver comes in and does well, but then he kind of screws up. Now, the good thing is a couple of people are coming back from an IR. We're getting, I forgot the name of the corner, that rookie, Luther? Luther?
You said Luther and it threw me off.
Yeah, sorry.
It was, Luther.
He's coming back from IR. Robert Beal, a fast pass rusher, speed, is coming off IR. And
I forgot he was
Danny
on the team.
Gray is coming off IR. Yeah, a lot of people forgot about him. So that's going to be a great addition to the team.
Do we know what happened to Sam Womack?
So no, he still has a week or 2 to go, because he went on IR week 1.
Okay.
Let me ask you something real quick, Pete. What is your thoughts so far on Ronnie Bell and this kid? Do you want to see this kid play more? I mean, I ask you because you're a Michigan guy.
Yeah, go blue. And I love Ronnie Bell. It's impossible for him to get more playing time on this team. It's impossible. We just finished talking about all the weapons that the 49ers have. And how do you get him on the field? You're going to take Debo or Ayuk, or even Ray has played well. And and they still sprinkled him in. I think he got a couple of plays the last game, but but how do you get him on the field? Jawan Jennings being out got him some extra snaps. But when Jawan Jennings comes back, really then how do you get him on the field? That's the only way that he's going to get on the field this season is when somebody gets hurt. So I like Ronnie Bell. I think he has a chance to be a really good player in this offense. It's just what, like I said earlier, it's just an embarrassment of riches for this team. I just remember the days when we had Kendrick Bourne and and what was his the cat guy, uh you know who I'm talking about, the multicolor hair, and the guy that we got from, I think he was on what from Washington. We drafted out to Washington, and then he was on the Giants last year, I think, or
Receiver
yeah, receiver.
with all the color hair. The only one that I know about color hair is Jennings.
No, we had him in 2019. We drafted him in 2018, and like he
Kyle
played really well.
No, the idiot that went over to the Giants from us.
Yeah.
The one who used to get afraid of getting hit, and I know who you talk about. I can't think of his name. Anybody know?
Yeah, we had him. We had Debo.
He's
and
terrible.
Then he was terrible. Like, but I mean, but think about it, the weapons that we had the year that we went to the Super Bowl, at the wide receiver position.
And then we brought in Sanders. Remember?
Yeah, we had Sanders, but I mean, he was old, and and then we had a rookie
Pettis.
Debo.
Thank you, Maud.
Dante Pettis, yes. So you had Dante Pettis, a rookie Debo, and you had Emmanuel Sanders that came in the middle of the year, and Kendrick Bourne. Those were our weapons. Now, and they had George Kittle. Now,
yeah, I remember George Kittle for a minute was the number one receiver for a long time.
For sure. Yeah, now they have George Kittle can't even get
can't even get the ball.
Targets.
Yep.
He can't even get targets because you got Debo, you got Ayuk, you got Ronnie Bell, you got Jawan Jennings playing well.
Ray.
You got even Ray. Ray plays well.
Feed.
I mean, it's just, and now you got CMC who's taking carries and catches.
Yeah, he's a receiver / running back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's how do you get, if you're a receiver coming on this team, how do you get snaps? How do you get targets? I just don't see how you even think that you're going to get any run.
Yeah, if there's an area that we're crowded in, it's definitely the receiver position. This is why I've been hearing, people have been saying, man, the Niners should go after Davante Adams. And I think that's ludicrous.
For what?
For what? For the things you just mentioned. Yeah, he's number one. He will be the number one receiver here. But who would you take out? And why would you want to take on that big ass huge contract of his, and then give up multiple capital for a 1-year rental? Because if you want to sign you're not keeping Davante.
Yeah, so, you know what they would have to do in that situation? They would have to take Juice off the field. They would have to take Juice off the field, and they would just be all 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end sets, and single back sets, because you're not going to take Davante off the field, you're not going to take Debo off the field, you're not going to take Ayuk off the field, and you're definitely not taking Kittle off the field.
Nope.
So that would be your offense, and then Christian McCaffrey would be your single back.
Yeah, this is why bringing someone like Davante Adams, I know people like to hear the name, the big name, the great receiver. We already have a Davante Adams and Brandon Ayuk. If anything, I'm a big defensive guy anyway. So, if anything, you can never go wrong with getting pass rushers. Someone like Brian Burns, be welcome. Chase Young, someone like Denelli Hunter from Minnesota can be available, especially Minnesota keeps losing. He has 5 sacks. He's playing with his hair on fire. Plays that, or maybe Sartain, the corner from the Broncos.
That's my guy.
Can be brought in to help out Ward and lock up that secondary. Those are the areas that you can think of bringing in. But when you start thinking offensively with Dante, just people lose me there.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want a corner, and I love Lenore. I think that Lenore is a bona fide number 2. But this is part, and it's going to sound like I really hate Steve Wilkes, but I just question what he's doing as far as the secondary, because he keeps rotating. He keeps rotating guys in. Lenore's playing in the slot, then he's playing on the outside. Then they have Avery Thomas in the slot. Then they have him on the outside. Then they sub in Lenore will be on the outside. Then Isaiah Oliver will come in for a couple of snaps to play the slot. It's just weird. It's just weird. And I just think it's hard for those guys to get continuity in their positions, like when they're constantly being rotated all over the place. Like I mean, they're professionals, yes, but it's still kind of hard to get continuity. But I think if they had a bona fide number two, that was his, like the guy was known as a good outside corner, like then it would force them to stick Lenore in the slot and have that guy as your number two. And that would I think that would help a lot of the coverage issues, because I still think, to your point, that Steve Wilkes is trying to figure it out. Yeah.
And to your point too, is secondary complements the front four. The front four complements the secondary. If you notice that with the Giants and Seattle last night, Seattle does not have a good pass rush. They don't. And they got 10 sacks. And people, even Armstead made a comment like, why weren't you fair to us? Why didn't you give us an opportunity? Why did you have to get rid of the ball so quickly? But, and that's funny, but the thing is, because Seattle has a better secondary than we do, Daniel Jones, to me, had to hold on the ball a bit longer. And therefore, the pass rush, even though they don't have a pass rush, got there. With us, because our secondary is a little bit suspect, they were throwing the ball in the middle because we don't truly have that slot corner. We're missing Ward. I guarantee you, if we had Ward, I forgot his first name, Jimmy Ward, yeah. If we had Jimmy Ward still on this team, those little dink and dunks that we're seeing wouldn't have been happening. If there's a player that I miss, it's him. His ability to protect that corner slot. And this is why Daniel Jones was able to get the ball out within 2.5 or 2.5 seconds, because he was getting to receiver. And with Seattle, based on what I saw, he had to hold the ball longer. And those pass rushers that are really, really pass rushers were able to get to him. And this is something where Steve Wilkes has to shorten up, but I don't think he has the personnel that he feels confident. We were talking about earlier about how confident Kyle is with Brock, right? He's confident with Brock. Mm-hmm. I don't think Wilkes is really confident with Lenore to leave him one-on-one and play man.
Well, this is the thing. Jimmy Ward didn't come back until, week 6 or 7?
Yeah.
And this defense was dominant before he got back. That was the reason why he couldn't get – they had to put him in the slot because they weren't going to take Tashawn Gibson out. And, and Jimmy Ward, honestly, to me, did not he could get beat deep, and he got beat deep a couple of times. But at the same time, they were aggressive. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier. They were aggressive at the line of scrimmage on those wide receivers and giving those their defensive line a time to get there. When you can put your hands on those wide receivers and give them that 5-yard chuck. It gives them that extra second. It gives them that extra second to get pressure on the quarterback, and I think that's really what this defense is missing, is just that physicality on that. That's why we would occasionally get beat deep last year, not for touchdowns, but we would occasionally get beat deep because they were being so aggressive at the line of scrimmage, and but I would rather see that, honestly, than watch teams just dink and dunk all the way down the field.
I'm with you. And Jim brings up a good point. He says playing too soft on the back end because we don't have cover corners. And Wilk likes to play man, and he's kind of gotten away from the zone. And I think last year we played more zone than man. This is why we were able to bring more pressure on the quarterback. But Steve Wilkes will figure it out. This guy's a vet. D'Amico Ryans is a special cat. I love the way he's playing or coaching, with the Texans.
He got those guys playing.
Not only that, but I feel bad for Carolina, man, but they hit on CJ Stroud. This kid is the real freaking deal, man. This kid has not thrown an interception, thrown like 6 or 7 touchdowns. He's swinging the ball. That defense is good. I wish him nothing but the best. I hate the Texans because of what they did to Deshaun Watson, but that's just me on a personal level. But I wish the best for D'Amico. He's playing. He's got those teams playing, and that was always their defense, right? The defense always wanted to play for D'Amico because of that style. Now I don't know if Steve Wilks. I haven't read too much about Steve Wilks. Was he a former player? Do you know?
I mean, I don't think he was a pro. He didn't play in the pros.
Okay.
I don't
There's
think
something
he played
about
in pros.
when you play in the pros, the players just elevate to. And D'Amico has that, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from Wilkes, but D'Amico has that, I just want to go through the brick wall for you type of personality.
Yeah.
I'll go through the wall for you. And I don't know if Steve Wilkes is demanding that yet, respect. Hopefully he'll
It's the
get
energy. It's a different energy.
Yeah.
It's just D'Amico's jumping around, chest bumping players.
And he was
like,
on the field too. Wilkes
yeah.
is not. He's on the booth.
Steve Wilkes is more of a do as I say type of guy, in my opinion. That's the way it looks to me. He builds off. He gets respect because of his knowledge of the game, and it's not so much. It's not a lot of rah rah with him, and like that's what it looks like to me. I think it's about it with him. It's more about scheme and his knowledge of defense, and I think that D'Amico played a lot on feel.
Yep.
Which maybe is the reason why I gravitate more towards D'Amico because that's the way I look at the game. I look at the game more of on field than the numbers per se. And like it's so I just like that way of football a little bit better. And I think you're right that it just gives you a different vibe, and it gives a different level of what do they call it? Like with the players, it just gives a different level of credibility with the players. So
absolutely, yeah, I'm with you. It's it's a different type of coaching style.
yeah.
Hopefully, Steve will get it together. He is a great defensive coordinator. Hopefully, he'll start working some new things, some new wrinkles in there. And we're going to find a lot in this game against Dallas. I really want to see our front four kind of get to that type of style that we were used to accustomed to watching last year, where they're in the face of the quarterback. I want to see our boy from USC, Jackson, step up a little bit more. I still think I love Jackson. I think this guy's going to be a great pass rusher, but we're still missing a D4 type of a pass rusher to complement Bosa. I'm hoping it's Jackson. I hope he steps up. Maybe Robert Bill will be something that we can see. But I haven't heard. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard that much about the kid that we picked up from the Raiders last year.
Cleveland Farrell, he's played well. I think he's played solid.
Has he?
But this is the thing: quarterbacks are getting the ball out in 2.5 seconds.
Okay.
Like you can't. How are you going to get to the? You're not going to get many sacks when the quarterback's getting the ball out in 2.
Yeah.
I think it was 2.7 seconds.
That's fast.
Like how are you you're basically having to beat them off the line every time. Like and that's just not going to happen. So I mean, it's usually most teams that get a lot of sacks, it's because they just collapse the pocket, but they have at least 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. Like the 49ers defensive line is a half a step to a step from getting 5 to 6 sacks a game. Like if you watch the games, they're pressuring the quarterback. They just can't get there because every team is trying to play quick game, and they're just dinking and dunking because we're playing so much off coverage. They're just taking what's there.
It's because they're afraid of our pass rush. They know our pass rush can get there.
It's coming.
And that's the strategy from offensive coordinators. Like, let's get the ball out quick. Let's move the ball. Now, one thing about Dak, he's not really known to get the ball out fast. He thinks too much. He has a tendency of holding the ball longer than regular quarterbacks. So hopefully
Yeah.
that'll be a benefit for us if he continues to hold our ball, and we'll get there with our
He's
pass
going to
rush.
be in this game.
Yeah.
He's going to be quick game in this game. I can
You think so?
100% guarantee. Oh, I can 100% guarantee it. Like I'm guaranteeing every team that until the 49ers show that they are going to play that they're going to play more physical, like they're going to keep getting quick gamed. Like that's going to happen. It's like Steve Wilkes is going to have to throw a curveball in there and start playing closer to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, teams are just going to keep doing it. I mean, why would you not?
Yeah, if it's working, why not? You're helping your quarterback. You at least giving your quarterback an opportunity to try to make a play by getting the ball out of your hands quicker. So,
and it's not like they're scoring a bunch
you.
of points. The defense is still only allowing, I think it's 14, or I think they're only allowing 14, averaging 14 something a game. Like, and it's not like that's a lot of points. It's just the way it looks. When we were watching them last year, and it was a struggle for teams to even get a score. Like, and it was more about like how many completions they were going to get, like, rather than like how many points they were going to score.
Yep,
So,
absolutely, bro. As fun as it is, we're getting to that 1 hour. Time always passes when you're having fun. Give me a score prediction for the Cowboys. If you do it, if you don't know, I don't remember. I talked to so many people, I forget who does and who doesn't. But if you do, what would your score prediction be for this Niners and Cowboys game?
I still think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think they're just a better team than the Cowboys, and I think that they're going to execute offensively. They're going to do enough to get this win. However, I think that this is going to be the game that breaks the streak of 30 points. I think that that they're going to score. I think the score is going to end up being 24-14.
Interesting. I'm with you in a sense. I don't think the streak ends with the Cowboys. I think that 30, they'll hit that 30 mark. They got to protect Brock, but I think the Niners have enough weapons on that offense. And I know a lot of people say, wait a minute. Didn't you watch the game last year in the playoffs? But that was last year. That's completely different than this.
And it was playoffs.
It's playoffs. People more, you're one and done, so people tend to be more conservative. They don't want to give the edge because if you lose, you're out. Here, it's not as much. Do you want to win the game? Of course, but it's not the same. I think this will be a different game than it was last year. I think the Niners will score. I think the Niners will score 31 to 28, and the Niners win on this game. 24. Excuse me.
You got less
31 to 24.
You got less respect for Steve Wilkes than I do.
Yeah. No. 24 points. I hope is less. We'll see what happens. I think it will be. I like to give a little bit more cushion because I don't want to jinx myself. But the Niners have been stopping. I mean, the team that put the most points this year so far has been what? The Rams with 23.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, maybe I am giving the Cowboys way too much because Dak does not impress me.
I think Matt Stafford's better than
I'm
Dak.
sorry. I'm going to change. I'm going to bring it down to 17. 17. I think 31 to 17 will be. It's more appropriate because I'm looking at their offense.
So blowout.
Yeah, a blowout. Can't stand the Cowboys.
I can't stand them either. I can't stand them either.
If we win by 1 point, I don't care. As long as we beat them, I love a blowout.
If we win by 1 point, I'm going to be all over Twitter and all these Cowboy fans mentions. Like all of them.
Watching videos after a week of beating the Cowboys, it is so entertaining for me, bro.
Oh my
These
God,
Cowboys fans are crying. They're making videos Oh my! Their amount. It's fun to watch, man. Hopefully, it won't be reversed this year, but it's fun to watch to see this Cowboys fans going from high expectations. Because as soon as they beat the Giants, and we know the Giants are trash. As soon as they beat the Giants week 1, based on what the Giants did last year, we're Super Bowl contenders. We're making it. Some Cowboy fans are already buying Super Bowl tickets and getting Super Bowl tattoos. 2023 Super Bowl champions. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, calm down, kiddo. You know, win some games. I think this will be a true test for both teams. I don't think they need. Sorry about that. I don't think neither one of us have really played a defense like the defense that we're going to face each other. You know, we're going to be facing the two top defenses back to back in the Cowboys Sunday and then the following week Cleveland. So it'll be interesting how if we can get past that craziness.
Is Deshaun hurt though?
Because
I know he was supposed to get scoped. I know he'll play. Supposed to get his knee looked at. Okay.
But I'm not sure too much with him. I don't know what the step of the injury was. We'll see. But that defense is ferocious though, and we are playing in Cleveland. So this 2 weeks are going to be definitely a test for our, if anything else, our offensive line, particularly McKivitz, will be truly tested these 2 weeks. So 31-17, and you said 24-17?
I said 14.
14. Okay, 2 touchdowns. No field goal. I like it.
No field goals.
Anything happening on your channel? You want to plug in your channel before? By the way, all the links are in the comments below, so just in the description below. So if you want to follow my boy, please click on the links. It will take you to all his platforms that he has. But what do you have going on in your channel this week or next week?
This week, for sure, I am going to do a pregame before the game, and then I'm going to do a post-game reaction show. Right, I'm going to try and get it right after the game.
Okay.
And then I'll be back on Monday, and then our show on Tuesday.
Okay. There you go. And then for me, the next show that I would do with someone, sometimes I go on during the week or not, we'll see. But on Friday, it's my shows on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific with my boy Pete, and then on Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific with my girl Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. We do the Niners Now podcast, so make sure to check us out there as well. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being part of today's show.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure having fun talking to you guys. You guys were very active in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you. Like always, Pete, it's always a pleasure talking with you, man. It's always brings a smile to me when I text you and you're like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, yep, let's go.
Absolutely.
So it fires me up,
That's
man.
my bro.
So
yeah,
have a
like,
wonderful...
no, I completely enjoy it.
Me too. So everyone, have a wonderful night. And always support one another, represent the Niners with class, and Niners forever. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go.
Go Niners.